This is the Suzuki S-Cross All Grip Prestige. I've been driving this for the last week with my family and I've discovered some things that I like and some that I don't, but let me show you. Like some other brands, Suzuki has pared back the S-Cross lineup to just 2 models and finally beefed up the safety features on both. The All Grip Prestige is the top model and will cost you just under $45,000 before on-road costs. The Prestige only adds 5 extra features: a 9-inch multimedia system as opposed to the standard 7-inch, synthetic leather accented seats, wireless Apple CarPlay, 360-degree camera, and a panoramic sunroof. Unless you are desperate for these features, you could save yourself $5,000 by opting for the All Grip model. The price tag isn't as competitive as it could be, considering that the overall finish on the S-Cross seems a little bit old school. When you have other cars on the market like the Kia Seltos and Nissan Qashqai, they offer similar features, but their designs are a little bit more modern and crisp. The S-Cross has been revamped and I really like the new nose on it. The previous version, the grille, just not super stylish with the toothiness and the chrome accents. But the new squared off edges, blackened grille and sleek LED lights just make this look far more serious. This facelift also sees a complete redesign on the rear, and honestly, this is where the design loses me. I don't love how rectangular it is. The lights are also very blocky looking, creating a discord with what's happening at the front. The interior has had a tweak too, and the dashboard does look nice with the mixed materials and the sloped cutaways, but it is let down a little bit by the more traditional looking features, like this rather large gear shifter and handbrake, which admittedly I don't mind, but when you couple them with the manual seats, plasticky buttons and flip switches, it's like you've built, a newly built home, but it's got a 10-year-old kitchen. There are some nice features in here, like the panoramic sunroof, which is a lovely thing to have, but the grey headliner shade that is on it doesn't really diffuse the light all that much, which is going to be awesome during the winter and colder months. But I think during summer it could get annoying when you need a break from the glare of the sun, but the interior is all lit up like a disco ball. There are also some features which I found a little bit quirky, like the air vents. They don't actually fill up the whole space, they sort of cut across it. I can't see why you would design them that way because it just makes them look, smaller than what they actually are. And the A-pillars, they sort of slope in at the bottom, which does give it a sleeker appearance. But then you've got chunky B-pillars, which at least in my driving position, I found that they hindered the over-shoulder visibility. However, the new blind spot monitoring system does help with this. I think the storage is pretty basic for a car of this size. Both the glove box and the middle console, are a little bit on the smaller side. I do like on the armrest though that it's extendable, which just adds to the comfort. And the square cup holders, I would have liked them to be a bit deeper, but I do like that they're at different heights. You've got drink bottle holders in each door, and besides 2 other small little cubbies, one in front of the gear shifter and one on the right hand side of the steering wheel, that's it. That's all you get. The seats are quite firm, but they are wide, which is nice. And I'm not super fussed with the material. The synthetic leather is a nice touch, but the woven inserts kind of feel and look a bit cheap. I do think they'll hide a lot of dirt, which is always a plus when you have kids in the car. It's just a shame that even in the top spec model, they remain manual. There's no electric adjustments or lumbar support. It is a nice feature though that they are both heated. The multimedia system isn't super intuitive to use. You do get used to it, but it can be a little bit laggy, the touchscreen and the graphics kind of all look the same. You can customize that, which is nice to make them pop out a little bit more. This has wide Android Auto and wireless Apple CarPlay. It has been easy to connect my iPhone 8 Plus to it initially, but I have noticed during the week that connection has dropped off a little bit and I've had to redo it, which isn't ideal, and I think the tech could be just a little bit better. The steering wheel is quite big, but feels nice underneath your hands. The instrument panel is a little bit boring and unfortunately not customizable. I quite like the 360-degree camera welcome screen when you turn on the car. It's a nice reminder to check your surroundings before starting a journey. I'm behind my driving position and I'm 168 centimeters or 5'6", and it feels squishy back here. Now, you do lose some headroom because of the sunroof, but even the legroom is pretty tight. I think you're going to be in a spot of trouble if you're tall. My 5-year-old enjoyed a really good view this week though because of the lower window sills and the wider windows, but he did struggle opening the back doors. It's like, I don't know, it's like they're not oiled or something. And even I did notice it, and I had to help him a lot this week getting in and out of the car, which sort of impeded his burgeoning sense of independence. The amenities back here could be better. You have map pockets, drink bottle holders, reading lights, and 2 cup holders in this middle armrest here. But no extra storage, no USB ports, and no directional air vents, which is, it's a shame. Plus, coupled with the quite firm seats and shallow seats, not heaps of under-thigh supports, and the armrest just sits too low to actually be comfortable. It just could be a little bit better. It just feels a bit basic. There are ISOFIX mounts on the outboard seats plus 3 top tether child seat mounts, but you really only going to fit 2 child seats back here, and it's really only comfortable enough to fit 2. Having said that, it was pretty easy to fit my harness booster seat, but front passenger space is going to be pretty cramped when a 0 to 4 rearward facing child seat is installed. Overall, the general comfort is a little bit lacking, and I think for older kids or an adult, they're not going to be as comfortable as front passengers on a longer journey. The boot space is actually a good size considering that this is a compact SUV, but even when the floor is lowered to its lowest position, it still feels a tad too shallow. I do like the deep pockets on the side though to stop smaller items from rolling around. No grade has a powered tailgate, but the lid isn't too heavy to operate, so it's not too bad. You also get a space saver spare tyre under the cargo floor too. Surprisingly, both S-Cross models share the same engine specs, but it's the little engine that could, and the driving performance has been really good this week. It has enough kick to get you up a steep hill and quite responsive at lower speeds too. Sometimes you do have to drive it a little bit harder to wring out that power, but overall it's been quite nice to drive. The ride is a little bit bumpy because the suspension is quite stiff. You'll notice that most on country roads, so urban dwellers will benefit the most. Or maybe not, there's been quite a few potholes around lately. The cabin can get quite loud with road noise. It's not so loud that you have to yell over it, but you're not going to forget that it's there. Overall, this doesn't feel like you're driving an SUV. It feels much more like a compact wagon, which also makes it feel well suited to city life. It's a simple car to operate, and parking it is the same. The Prestige also comes with that 360-degree camera, which takes out most of the guesswork. The official combined fuel cycle is 6.2 litres per 100 kilometres, and I achieved 6.3 litres. Now, I was really impressed with that fuel economy, given the engine to body size ratio of this car. Admittedly, my driving style might contribute to that, but overall that's pretty darn good. If you're in the city, I would expect that to be a little bit higher though. The new facelift sees an overhaul of the safety features, and the S-Cross now has some items that I like to see on a family car, like AEB, blind spot monitoring, rear cross traffic alert, and lane departure warning. The airbags stay the same at 7, but at the time of filming this doesn't have an ANCAP safety rating yet. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's unsafe, but it is something to consider. The S-Cross comes with Suzuki's 5-year unlimited kilometre warranty, which is pretty standard for this class. But it also comes with 5 years roadside assistance, which is a nice bonus. It has 5 years cap price servicing, and services average $397, which is also pretty standard for this class. Servicing intervals though are every 12 months or 10,000 kilometres, which could be a little bit painful if you put a lot of Ks on your car. The Suzuki S-Cross All-Grip Prestige is a little bit of a mixed bag. I mean, even the name doesn't exactly roll off the tongue. There are features that I like about it and features that I don't. I think the design won't age too well, and the interior is already feeling a little bit dated compared to the competition. But it's an easy car to operate, and the engine has been a surprising win for this. I think with those added safety features, if you're looking for a practical all-wheel drive without the big body, this will probably suit you. So this gets a 7 out of 10 from me. My son really liked the sunroof, but missed those amenities in the back seat and just really struggled with the back doors this week. So he only gave it a 5 out of 10. If you're after more details, check out the full review at the Cars Guide site. The link will be in the description, and I'll see you next week.